Nice run by number 21 by HD Woodson. There's a player down in the play.
Hey Toby, when you get a chance, find us. Give it to 21. Give the ball to 21. Give it to 25. They're really going to run the ball. They're going to dance. Let 25 be the same. Don't get nobody no chance. Keep that with 20 yards. Yeah. Get a look like that. Hang on down.
Nice stop by Chris Burns, number 77 of Oxon Hill. On the carry, gets the first down for HD Woodson.
It's all right.
A penalty on the play. Holding HD Woodson. The first down comes back. 4th down and 11.
Don't hit none. You hitting something. Miss Spade, take a punch out of it. Just
We will.
Which problem?
On the cross of the carry gains 12 yards, and there's a flag on the play. Holding against Oxon Hill, the play goes back.
Safety, you got a safety. You got a safety.
Safety, H.G. Woodson. The score is now 16-9. And Oxon will kick off the H.D.
Move 81 back. Move 81 back to the next guy. Move 25 back to the next guy. Is this our hands, Steve? Definitely. No. All time out, Bob. But you know it's going to be all side. Onside kick. You go by the way you're running up. Good. 55 through his hand and trying to hit it. Okay, now. So you got 35.
Number 21 on the carry, gains 3. Based on a 2nd down and 7.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another week of high school football final. It is the metro area's one and only high school football highlights show. Tonight, Gaithersburg goes for its 14th straight win. Robinson tries to keep its #1 status. And as always, we'll have the player of the week. But first, game of the night in Northern Virginia. Lake Braddock at Annandale. It's a matchup of two of the area's best teams and two of the premier running backs, Eric Jennings of Annandale and the Bruins' Brian Jones. The Adams out for revenge after last season's loss to Braddock. So they give the ball to Eric Jennings and run him inside for nothing. They pitch it to him on the outside, and he gets nothing. 11 carries, 13 yards tonight for Eric Jennings. So they try the field goal, and they get nothing. Second half, down 6-0. Annandale claws back. LB's Chris Ward sacked in the end zone. 2 points Annandale. And it's a 6-2 ball game. And then Lake Braddock gave the Adams another chance to take the lead when the snap sails over punter Victor Knott's head. Adams ball on the 5, but 2 plays later, the Bruin D rises to the occasion. John McPhail picked off in the end zone, and Lake Braddock survives the final 6-2. Jefferson looking to go 2-0 at Falls Church. This was the opening kickoff. Opening kickoff, an onside kick. Are you kidding? That catches Falls Church completely off guard. Jefferson then takes it downfield. Ken Seidel goes deep to Mike Ingursky. Great catch by Mike, put it on the 4, and that set up a 1-yard run by Seidel to make it 7-0. But look at this play. That's the play of the game. John Wilkenfield picking off the screen pass and goes all the way for the touch. 20-zip Jefferson at the half. The final, 34-zip Jefferson. Couple of great running backs in action in PG County tonight. We'll begin with Forestville's Deshaun Moore. A week ago, Moore rushed for 245 yards. Tonight, he tried to duplicate that effort against Gwynn Park. They played this one at Largo. Deshaun Moore hoping for much more tonight. And Forestville got it on the opening kickoff. Watch this. Demetrius Irvin back to receive the kick. And he starts the game right for Forestville. Where is the kick coverage? Look at Irvin sprinting by everyone, but he would not go all the way. He's finally stopped at the 29. 2 plays later, they give it to who else? Deshaun Moore, and he rumbles the rest of the way. 29-yard touchdown for Deshaun Moore. But back comes Gwynn Park. Mike Lucas breaking free for a 29-yard TD of his own. Mike Lucas giving Gwynn Park a 10-6 lead. That's when Deshaun Moore says, give me the football and watch me go. Look at him go. Deshaun Moore, he played like Denver's Sean Moore. A 71-yard touchdown scamper. Forestville was up 12-10 at that point, but Gwynn Park takes it 27-24. So Deshaun Moore's 71-yard TD in a losing effort. Now to our other back, Friendly's Jasper Pendergrass in action against Surrattsville. Jasper breaking tackles and coming right at you for the big game. Jasper Pendergrass, this would set up a 2-yard TD. Then later, Friendly on the move one more time. Lee Morris throwing for Gavin Dupree. It's a 12-yard TD. Friendly a winner tonight, 21-0. To Montgomery County now, where Gaithersburg's won 13 straight. They had a tough one tonight, though, against undefeated Watkins Mill. Find out if the streak continued. We go to Gaithersburg.
Yeah, baby! Yeah! We're #1!
Yeah, the Trojans weren't #1 early on. Ed Gordon of Watkins Mill up the middle and into the open field. 35 yards and a touchdown, ball game tied at 7. Gaithersburg coming right back, though. Tommy Dugan going deep. Robert Sewell with a great catch. Now that set up a field goal by R.G. Minor. Made the score 10-7 Gaithersburg. Watkins Mill fumbled the ensuing kickoff, and Gaithersburg capitalized. Diallo Carter going 36 yards for the touchdown. But that wasn't enough. Gaithersburg a loser tonight. The final was 28-17, so Watkins Mill snapping that 13-game winning streak by the Gaithersburg Trojans. Seneca Valley hosted Ligonor. Screaming Eagles come screaming in. From the opening kickoff, both teams had a tough time holding on to the football. I mean, they had a tough time holding on to the football. Monty Lyles, he can't hang on to it. Ryan Hines, he can't hang on to it. finally, someone hangs on to it. Chucky Carter on the punt return. Look at him zig and zag his way to a 55-yard return. That set up a touchdown for the Screaming Eagles, and Seneca Valley went on to win it by a final score of 14-6. All right, we'll take a quick timeout, but when we return, we've got the area's top-ranked team in action in Northern Virginia, plus highlights from the day games in the district. We'll go to break now with a look at tomorrow's schedule. Stay with us.
If pouring rain means you reach for the nearest bucket to bail out your basement, reach for the nearest phone instead. Call 1-800-BASEMENT for AquaGuard waterproofing. Whether your basement is just musty or floods every time it rains, AquaGuard waterproofing can help. AquaGuard gives you full-service waterproofing, the most advanced technology, the highest quality workmanship, all backed by the best warranties in the business. Call 1-800-BASEMENT for your free estimate. Don't wait till it's too late. Call AquaGuard Waterproofing today.
Coming up this weekend, the spotlight returns to George Washington University. I'm Kathy Foster. As the fall session gets underway, we look a bit closer at what's familiar and what's new on campus. Everything from dorm life for newcomers to advanced graduate programs offered in the university's tradition of excellence. Learn more about a good neighbor and valuable community resource. Join me for George Washington University Spotlight this weekend on News Channel 8.
Watch Golf Tips Tuesdays and Thursdays here on News Channel 8. Brought to you by the Washington area Toyota dealers.
You can join thousands of American
Know
fans.
that the Robinson Rams are #1 this week in the Post Top 20. Problem is, the past 2 weeks, the #1 has lost. Robinson tried to break that trend tonight against Fairfax. The Rams came in banged up, though. Defensive lineman David Van Dyke out for the season with a broken leg. Robinson down early 3-0. Toby Harris fumbles. The Rebels' Nate Daniel picks it up and takes it in for the score. Fairfax up 10-0. The Rebels kept the pressure on. Watch number 40, Charlie Turner. He takes it all the way to the 40. Number 40 going 40 yards. Fairfax led it 17-7 at the break. And Nick Hilgert's squad would come back, send it into overtime, but Fairfax wins it 26-20 in double OT. Elsewhere, South Lakes at West Springfield. Spartan head coach Frank Cornetti looking to go 2-0. Damone Boone helping the cause. Boone fielding the punt return off the hop, and Boone makes some nice moves, returns it 40 yards. Look at the nice juke from Damone Boone. That sets up Damone Boone, his second TD of the game, scores on the 10-yard run here. That put the Spartans up 20-0. West Springfield's D shuts out South Lakes 20-zip. Good matchup of private schools in Montgomery County tonight. Georgetown Prep coming off a big win in their opener, met Good Counsel. Good Counsel 1-1 coming into tonight's game. These two are longtime rivals. So the Falcon was ready for some football. And the Good Counsel Falcons take to the air. Brian Williams rolls and finds Joe Holland. Look at the great diving catch by Joe Holland. 9-0, Good Counsel. Second half now. G-Town Prep comes to life. Burka Nagong. They got to start putting a pronunciation guide in the program. He fights his way in from the 5-9-6 ball game. Later, same play, opposite end of the field. Our friend Burka, one more time. That was the game winner. Georgetown Prep 13, Good Counsel 9. Somebody send me a pronunciation guide. Only 3 games played this afternoon around the area. 2 of them involved DCI AA teams. We begin at Dunbar, where the defending league champs hosted Spingarn.
Wait,
They were cheering in the rain at Dunbar, and they had lots to cheer about as the Crimson Tide dominated spin guard. Dunbar's Sean Leak tips the pass and then picks it off, and Leak is off to a 40-yard touchdown. He had 3 interceptions on the day. Very next play from scrimmage, spin guard fumbles the snap. Thomas March recovers, 1st and 10, Crimson Tide. A few plays later, they're back in the end zone. John Lee to Donald Chu, Dunbar 34, spin guard 0. While the fans did their best to keep dry, Coolidge did its best to run the football against Phelps. Rashad Gillespie slipping and sliding his way to a 25-yard gain. Gillespie then finished off the drive by hauling in this 8-yard touchdown pass. Colts up 8-zip. Phelps would fight back, however. Charles Thomas rolling out and hitting a wide-open Gerald Hillard with a 42-yard bomb. But Coolidge hangs on, 16-14. Meantime, the Saints went marching into Alexandria. St. Stephen's hosting St. Christopher's. Brian Napper wasn't sleeping on this play. Picks it off for Stevens, runs it back to midfield. A short time later, Napper's on the receiving end again. But this time, the pass is from his own quarterback. Napper with the nice catch to tie the game at 7. Steve Phill fills the air one more time, finding Toby Albright for another St. Stephen's touchdown. St. Stephen's went on to win it 26-20. Let's go to Montgomery County now, where the big train, Walter Johnson, was looking to snap an 11-game losing skid. They had the perfect opportunity against Richard Montgomery. The big train fans ready to roll, but Montgomery had other ideas. Watch the super catch by Marlon Holt. That is a big-time play. And that sets up this 1-yard plunge by Anthony Manco. 21-0, Richard Montgomery. They wouldn't quit. Quarterback Williams firing a bullet for Marlon Holt, and Marlon does the rest. A 50-yard catch and run by Marlon Holt. 28-0 Montgomery. The final was 35-6. The Magruder Colonels and Paint Branch, and the Colonel was getting down on the field. Magruder was dancing all over PB on this play. On this play right here. Fumbled snap, and there's Paul Ryans to recover. But back comes Paint Branch. Back comes Paint Branch. Honest, they do. Magruder trying the halfback option. Didn't happen. PB's Jerron Bell intercepts. PB the winner tonight. 14-0 over Magruder. And that brings us to our player of the week. We showed you the Forestville Knights earlier. Well, Deshaun Moore of Forestville should be knighted for his performance in a losing cause. The 6'1" running back ran roughshod tonight, picked up 225 yards on 29 carries. They also scored 3 touchdowns. Moore's putting together some great numbers this year. Rushed for 245 a week ago. Congratulations on another great night for Deshaun Moore. He's this week's player of the week. That's going to do it for this week's edition of High School Football Final. Stay tuned for more news. We'll see you next week. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Week 5 of High School Football Final, the metro area's one and only high school highlights show. Lots of good stuff tonight, so let's get right to it. And we begin in Northern Virginia. Undefeated Lake Braddock's defense hasn't allowed a touchdown all year. Tonight they were matched up with West Springfield. Now the Spartans' Damone Boone leads the Northern region in touchdowns. Bruins haven't given up a TD. They face the leading TD maker. So as they say in the business, something had to give. Here's what. Francis Dahl's defense, that's what. West Springfield sprung for 24 unanswered points in the second half. This is Matt Shannon on a nice quarterback keeper. Matt Shannon going in for the TD. And the Spartan defense then told Brian Jones, hey, you, get off my cloud. West Springfield 24, LB 7. The Spartans with, indeed, a Spartan defense. Damone Boone, 156 yards rushing on just 8 carries for the Spartans tonight. Elsewhere, Jefferson and Edison, a meeting of the minds and the shoulder pads. Warren Tomlinson fumbles, Edison recovers. Then Ken Seidel to Chino Rodriguez. What a stick by Edison. I mean, that is some tough D. Later, Seidel rolling out this time, pointing, looking, and finding Edison Scott Tillery. The Edison Eagles with the tough defense. Finally, Jefferson gets it going. Seidel to Paul Yu. Yu then throws it to Stuart Green in the end zone. That's Yu. Jefferson rolls 35-0. Seidel 16 for 28, 257 yards, 3 TD passes. A couple of good matchups across the Potomac and Montgomery County. We'll start at Quince Orchard, where the Cougars hosted Springbrook. Do you realize that Quince Orchard hasn't lost at home since they moved to the 4A classification 2 years ago? That's a 15-game winning streak, and it was on the line tonight. The Cougars trying to get in your face. We'll pick it up second half. Quince Orchard up 14-5 when Springbrook's Cliff Botchway takes it in from 5 yards out, makes it 14-12. But then the Quince comes right back. Todd Greenbaum going deep for Martin Martin Smith. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Martin Smith for the TD. Oh, sorry, Martin. Springbrook's sorry, too. 21-18, Quince Orchard won it. They have now won 16 in a row at home. Whooping it up at Wooten. Watkins Mill looking to stay unbeaten, and they led 7-3 when Dwayne Manson eluded several would-be tacklers. Manson dancing his way to a 37-yard touchdown. Big night for Dwayne Manson, 16 carries, 249 yards. As a team, they gained 448. Can you believe it? The running attack in high gear. Watkins Mill still perfect, 17-3. PG County Friendly hosted Bladensburg. Last week, Friendly wasn't feeling too friendly after an upset loss. Tonight, Friendly went looking for its 4th win of the year. Let's go to the friendly confines of Friendly High. Football weather, cheerleaders have put on the sweatshirts tonight. Nice night for Bladensburg's Rick Alston. Keeps on the option, makes it 7-0. And then the Bladensburg defense took care of Jasper Pendergrass. Nothing up the middle for Jasper. Nothing around end for Jasper. Nothing at all for Jasper. Meantime, the Mustangs were clicking on Alston to Glenn Newell on a nice slant pattern, and that led to yet another Alston TD run off the option. Sad night for Friendly. Bladensburg drills them 33-13. Music, sweet music for High Point and Crosland. Crosland's Derek Bell was rocking tonight. Bell on the carry, up the middle, into the open field, and a stiff arm later, he's headed for the end zone. A 48-yard TD for Derek, ring my bell. But Bell was ringing even louder on Crosland's next series. Very next series, Bell, big hole, bounces off a tackler, and then sprints 53 yards for another touchdown. Derek Bell makes it 12-0 Crosland. High Point gets high marks, though, for this fake punt. Watch this. Nice work. They snap it to Marvin McLean. Marvin with the nice run to set up a field goal. But Crosland would win it. 24-16 was the final. All right, it's halftime here on the final, but still to come, the day games in the district. And as always, our player of the week. We go to break with a look at Saturday's schedule. timeout. The Herndon Hornets haven't been too flashy this season, but they have been effective. 4-0 as they tried to put the sting on Madison, and they stung him with this blocked punt. Nick Shinton recovers. That set up a Neil Shepard TD. Herndon was up 6-0. Still the first quarter. Danny Leach to the air. Danny Steeper with the nice over-the-shoulder catch. The Danny duo puts him up 13-0. Early second quarter, Herndon gets 6 more. Joseph Taylor scampering untouched. 38 yards for the touchdown. Herndon improves to 5-0. The final was 42-14. And the heat was rising as Marshall met Langley. The late fourth quarter, Langley trailing 15-8. Joe Galino letting it fly. Michael Claggett making the grab. Touchdown Saxons. 15-14 ball game at that point. So the Saxons go for 2 in the win. At least they tried to go for 2 and the win. But Marshall's Paul Speece has other ideas. Speece comes up huge, sacks Galino and sacks the Saxons. Marshall 15, Langley 14. In the district, a pair of games played this afternoon. We'll begin with Anacostia and Spingarn. Smile and say cheese, because Anacostia played a picture-perfect ball game. First half highlights. Indians quarterback Ricardo Gibson goes to the air looking for Michael Anderson, and he finds him. Anderson hauls it in for a 41-yard score. Later in the half, Gibson goes upstairs again, this time to Derek Davis, and the Indians were back in the end zone. Davis pointing to the heavens as if to say, "That's for you, LaShawn. We know you're watching." They've dedicated the season to the memory of LaShawn Preston, their teammate who was killed at the beginning of the season. LaShawn would be proud. The Indians are 5-1 with a 38-0 win over Spingarn. Over at Dunbar, McKinley crowned its homecoming king and queen, then got crowned by Wilson. Anthony Delaney goes up the middle for the 15-yard TD. That made it 14-0 Wilson. And they were well on their way to the VICTORY. They could start the victory cheers when Davin Brown carried the ball and the whole McKinley defense into the end zone. Wilson would pour it on from there. Chris Kissling hits a wide-open Purvis Turnbull, and Turnbull with the touchdown honking. Wilson big time, 43-0. Hayfield on the road tonight, looking to make Mount Vernon its 4th straight victim. And they did, thanks to Tony Harris. He was in the zone tonight, the end zone. Third quarter, Tony Harris on the carry, goes up the middle, and then 61 yards later, he's in the end zone. Hayfield was up 25-0. Harris on the night, 204 yards, 3 TDs. But Corey Brooks says, anything you can do, I can do better. Well, almost. Brooks with a 44-yard burst, but he's dragged down at the 6. He'd later punch it in from the 2. Hayfield, big time, 32-6. They win their 4th straight. Pilati at Good Counsel. Hotheads were everywhere tonight. Pilati's Maurice Montgomery punches it in from a yard out, makes it 7-0. And then a little bit later, well, actually with 2 minutes left in the ball game, after they got done celebrating the touchdown, 2 minutes left in the game, Good Counsel with 4th and 10 at their own 20. They go for it out of the shotgun. But the snap is horrible. Horrible snap. It's mishandled. Pilati recovers for safety. And that was how it ended. 9-0 Pilati over Good Counsel. And that brings us to the highlight of our show, the Player of the Week. Tough call this week, considering some great performances. But our POW voters chose Anacostia's Ricardo Gibson. The 6'3", 175-pound sophomore threw for 268 yards and 3 TDs. He led the Indians to a 38-0 victory. Ricardo Gibson, our Player of the Week, and just our 2nd quarterback to garner POD honors. Well, that does it for another edition of High School Football Final for the cast of dozens. I'm Steve Bucci. I'll see you next week.